Hey everyone, it's Sharona from Pay Or Wait. So today I'm going to be reviewing Good Girl Season 3, Episode 2, Not Just Cards. So we know from the season premiere of Season 3, we know that my baby daddy, my little boo thing, Rio, he is still alive, still looking fine. So we see that he's sitting outside of a car. We see him looking into a house. And then they cut to Beth and Dean. They going back and forth because Beth still ain't got no money. They can't pay no bills. So she sold Dean's family's grandfather clock they got as a wedding gift. If the kids think it's haunted, you know, she's selling that trying to get some money. So we see that they get a knock at the door. And then we see Rio walking up. I was like, Lord, are you guys about to do this right now? Like, you really about to just blow our minds like this? About to get this confrontation in the beginning of the episode? But we were saved, okay? She was saved by her mother-in-law. Or, you know what, going by how this episode went, she probably would have rather had Rio pop up on her at the door. But Rio actually went to go see his son because I was just like, sir, you could wait on vengeance, but you've been like, gone. Your son been missing you. You really going to go get your vengeance with Beth instead of going to see your son? But I'm happy that he made the right choice. But did you peep how when a little boy was like, you know, I have a soccer game? He's like, who got you into soccer? And then Ray was like, you know, one of the moms at the park. And I was like, Lord, I still feel like she has something to do with this. But we're going to get to that later, how I was absolutely right. Or I could be wrong. We'll have to talk about it and wait for the next episode to find out. But in the meantime, let's talk about Annie, because Annie has some drama. I was wondering where they're going to go back to what happened, you know, with her and Greg. You know, they gave her this whole other relationship, but like Greg was like, I still want to be with you. He was even concerned to be like, hey, like that guy isn't right for you, even though he didn't know that the guy was really FBI. But we see that him and his raggedy wife, they're all together. I was like, okay, well, maybe we kumbaya and we come back together after he was sleeping with his ex. But I guess she's okay with that now. We see that Ben actually had just won, I forgot, was it a debate or something that it was, but then everything was ruined when the wife of Greg's was basically like, oh, good job, Sadie. And I was like, Sadie? His name ain't Sadie. His name is Ben. And so they had to get her together all the way real quick. I was like, see, this is why I don't like your wife, okay? Because she's disrespectful. We know that his name is Ben. Why don't you know that, okay? And so even she felt weird because she messed up his name. But then we see that they're talking about they're in couples therapy. She's like, I just wanted to thank you. You know, we've been going to couples therapy and we're basically trying to get our lives back together. But she basically tells them that they want her to come to therapy. And so basically the therapist says that Annie is the reason that he slipped up. And then the reason that she did it was because she was broken and lost. And I was like, what do you mean he slipped up? Like he literally took his like little ping out and like slipped inside of Annie. I was just like, I don't understand how this adds up, how you're putting this all on Annie. I was just a little bit confused. And then also too, Greg, you know you don't like your wife like that. Like, please don't stay with your wife and waste her time and your time just because you have a child. And yes, I believe that all families should be together, but when they love one another, okay? You don't like your wife at all. If Annie was to say today, hey, you can sleep your ping back into me and leave her, he would do that. So I just have a whole problem of blaming this on her, even though I know that Annie has her own issues, but to really be like, he slipped up, like it took a lot for them to even get to the part where they were smashing one another. So I just don't understand why she feels the need to put all of this on to Annie. And so Annie, you know, she all upset. And so she decides to go meet with a therapist. And then she gives the therapist a little piece of her mind. But the problem is, it's not really the therapist that Greg and his wife was talking to. That's like another therapist. He's a kid therapist. And I was really confused at the whole conversation between Annie and the little kid in the beginning. I was just like, ma'am, leave this child alone. His parents are getting divorced. He needs to be able to cope to deal with his parents' divorce. And she said up there like, well, what are you here for? Why aren't your parents here? Ma'am, let this little boy live, okay? With his little crush that probably don't like him. But we see that, you know, she basically apologizes and she leaves. But I was like, they're clearly going to end up dating this season. She's going to end up smashing him. I hope that maybe he's a good guy and that this is something for the best for Annie. But I really do think that Annie needs to really get her life together. And so we see that Greg basically comes back to her house because he still loves her. He's still trying to be with her. But he basically is trying to apologize. And then she goes off on him. And then he was like, you know what, Annie? It must really suck being so perfect. And I was just like, now, Greg, I kind of understand what you were getting at. Like, Annie is not a saint. It takes two to tango. It takes two to cheat. But at the end of the day, why are you still bothering her? Why are you still showing up to her house? Ben is not at home. You don't need to be here. If Ben is not there, if you're not picking up Ben, if you're not trying to talk to Ben, don't go trying to talk to Annie. Like, you don't want to be with your wife. Just leave your wife. Be there for your child, okay, between one another. But just do you and leave Annie alone, okay? I just need both of y'all to separate. Or if y'all want to be together, let's just have an open and honest discussion about that. So basically, then she ends up going back to the therapist because when Ben comes home and they kind of have a conversation, Ben basically says, Mom, you don't need therapy because you have me. Like, you tell me all your problems and I fix you. And I was like, that does not sound healthy. That does not sound like a healthy father and mother like relationship. And I think Annie was able in that moment to really realize, like, hey, my son should not feel like he is my therapist and that he is here to fix me. Like, I'm supposed to be a parent. And I was like, ma'am, get your life together. So she went back to the therapist to kind of have a discussion. But I think she's going to end up smashing him. I mean, I don't even know if she's going to get no therapy out of this. Maybe the therapy be free since they're going to be smashing. That's just me. I'm just calling like it is. We've seen a pattern with Annie and any person that she comes into contact with. I'm just saying, I mean, do your thing, girl, get the help that you need at the same time, do what you need to do. But I'm just saying that's what's going to happen. And also too, I hope that she talks to her therapist about the fact that she eats syrup on her French fries. That's just so random. I do a lot of crazy things. I eat a lot of crazy stuff together, but syrup and French fries is never two combinations that I ever even fathom in my mind, like doing. I just felt like that entire thing is weird. Okay. So enough with Annie. We're going to talk about Ruby. So Ruby, they struggling. Like, you thought Beth and Dean was struggling. They struggling. Okay. Trying to figure out they're going to pay the water, if they could wash their behind, or if they're going to be able to talk on the phone. So we see that Stan ends up getting a phone call about Agent Turner, about him being killed. We saw that Rio set him up in the season 3 premiere. And so basically, Ruby goes and tells the women what happened. And then basically I was like, Annie, why did you pour out some coffee at they went to the scene of the crime. Everybody leaves teddy bears, flowers and stuff. Annie gonna pour out some coffee. I was just like, ma'am, I don't think that's how it's supposed to go. But then Beth looked like she was having a moment. But then after, she just like, hey ladies, well, since he dead, we back in business. I was just like, this man literally just like let you go. Like, he like helped you with the whole Rio thing. Even though he kind of set you up because Rio was alive and you didn't know that he was keeping him alive. But still, I was just like, there could have been a little bit more sympathy, a little bit more remorse, like a moment of silence, just something. I don't know. I just felt like that was a bit much. So we see that they end up going suit shopping for Stan. Stan wants to go to the funeral. Ruby said to her, like, why are you trying to go to this man's funeral? He literally put you in jail, arrested you, tried to frame you for something that he knew that you did not do in the first place. And I was like, Ruby, I'm kind of with Ruby on this because I just like, sir, why are you trying to go to the funeral? I just don't understand. But we see that they're waiting in the suit shop and the guy, he's not paying attention to them, customer service. I ain't gonna lie, I'm a Ruby in this situation because I'm just like, if I come in and like 10 seconds go by and then nobody greet me and like I'm just looking around, I'm broke anyway. I ain't trying to spend no money. For real. I really ain't trying to spend no money. I mean, I could spend some money, but I could just, not struggle and not spend no money. So I'll be the first one to be like, you know what? Oh, did nobody talk to me? Okay, I'm finna leave. I'm done. Bye. And I will be calling corporate. Thank you very much. Yes, I am. Let me get your manager. Let me get the corporate number. I am that person. I'm just letting you guys know. So Stan is just looking at her crazy like, what is happening? And then Ruby ends up finding out that Stan got the suit. He was like, they're the only people who had layaway. And he was like, you are so exhausting. Like, everything does not have to be a fight. Everything is not weird pressed. Like, talk about sitting by the bathroom or he didn't notice us. He was just like, I just need you to chill out for a moment. And then Ruby was just like, have I always been like this? And he was like, no, you weren't like this in the beginning. And then I guess she kind of brought up the fact of washing money again. And he was like, we said we were going to do that. But then we never got a definite answer as to how, if Stan said, yes, you can do it or no, you can't do it. But I was still happy that Ruby said something to him because I was very concerned because I was like, Ruby, don't do this behind Stan back. I don't think that my heart could take it. I'm sorry, I'm still a little sick. I don't think my heart can take it if you and Stan broke up. I need you guys to work because you're making me believe in love again. Like I can find me somebody. I want to find my Stan. And I just am happy that you are being open and honest and communicating with him, having these honest and open conversations. I'm very happy to see that. But we gotta talk about Beth, y'all. Let's talk about Beth because Beth had all the craziness going on. This Not Just Cards title is around the relationship between her her mother-in-law. They are clashing, okay? The mother-in-law, Dean mama, she up here, she trying to help. She cooking, she cleaning, she making sure the kids are taken care of. She's weirdly ironing Dean's underwear. I just don't understand, but hey, you do you, boo. So they're clashing because she's basically trying to take over her house. So we see that her mom, Dean mama, tried it at dinner, y'all. She really tried it. So the son was like, hey, I wanted to go do my homework. And she was like, you need to finish your... Beth was like, you can go ahead and do it. And she was like, no, you need to finish your plate. And then she was like, no, he can go do what he needs to do. And then she stopped him again. I said, well, I'll be danged. Whose dinner table is this? Dean sitting up here being quiet because he ain't got no backbone whatsoever. I was like, you know what, Dean? As petty as your mother is, I would have expected you to have more of a backbone because the pettiness that your mother exhibits, the command, the controls that she commands, okay? She literally took over you and your wife's house and you still didn't have nothing to say about it. So I was just sitting at the dinner table like, Dean, you're not going to get up? You're not going to check your mama? You're not going to defend your wife? Who's sitting up here trying to make sure that everybody got money? I just didn't understand. I was really confused. I was just like, sorry, y'all. I was just really confused. Like, Dean, please, every week, I just want you to prove me wrong, that you ain't trash and worthless, or have me question why Beth is with you in the first place, okay? I just don't understand. I've been trying to understand it going on now 3 seasons, and I give you that chance, and then you look at me and you just say, I don't care. I am trash. And then we just have this moment all over again. So basically, Beth ended up kind of winning. No, Beth did end up winning the argument at the dinner table because she just said, you know what, y'all, everybody done. We just going to eat dessert since mother-in-law sitting up here being a little cray-cray up in my house. And so then Beth tried to have a conversation with her like, you know what, I appreciate you helping out. And then it seemed like her and her mother-in-law was going to find some common ground. But she was basically like, hey, if you want to take back your house, then have your behind here so you can make the decisions. And I was like, oh. And then I was just like, you know what? But she got a point, though. So I was just like, it is what it is. But we see Dean is still raggedy, still trash, still... I don't like him at all. Just the first time I laid eyes on him, I was just like, he trash. Leave him, Beth. Please. I've been trying to figure this out. I thought they was going to leave each other, but then they just decided to stay together. So I'm just still sitting here confused. So... So Dean is selling hot tubs. That's his new job since he got fired from the little car place since he's trash and a liar and a cheater and a scammer. So I'm sorry, Dean just really gets me worked up. He's just like the ultimate F-boy, He got my asthma acting up. I can't even talk straight because I'm just getting angry. So we see that he looking at all these awards that one of his coworkers has, and of course it's a woman. Her name is Gail. So she come in like, hey, I can teach you to be just like me. And I was just like, Lord, he gonna end up smashing this girl. I could tell right now. They sitting up here flirting. I'm like, ma'am, you don't see the ring. I don't understand what is happening right now. So then they end up going out to dinner because she basically says hey, I build relationships with people. So I build relationships with movers, all these people. And basically they just kick me back business, and that's how I make money. That's how I'm always number one in sales. And so they out having dinner. Dean killed it because he's good at scamming. He's good at lying. Okay. Good at playing a person that he's not. So then she oh, those are my keys. And then he gives the keys to her, and then she lingers on his hand, tries to grab his hand a little bit. I said, ma'am, you know that he married and you know he got kids. Why are you being trifling? I know Dean is already trifling, but I was just clearly they're going to be smashing. Why is Dean on the show? Why is he on the show? Because he just really makes me that mad. He can't do nothing. Can't bring no money into the house, okay? Can't even be strong enough to protect his wife, okay? Can't even check his mother-in-law to make sure that she's not disrespecting his wife in their house. Lord, just give me strength. Just give me strength to get through this because he really bothers me so much. So we just gonna get on Beth raggedy behind because she raggedy to this episode. So she's sitting up here. She been calling Ray. She ain't been answering because the kid said, oh, I was goalie today. And she's like, but I thought so-and-so was goalie. So she been stalking this girl trying to figure out what the heck is happening with her. And so then she decides since it's back on, they're going to start making the money again. So Dean, stupid behind it, made the movers mad. And then he talked about how the movers were just got out of prison, and so he was scared of them, so he was gonna tip them good. Then she decides we need to get criminals to basically help us clean the money. She give him this money. I was like, you are so stupid. Why are you giving a criminal money? He just gonna take the money. Like, you don't even know this man. So, of course, he comes up in the little car shop. Don't call it no car shop in front of her because the mother-in-law kept saying car shop. She's like, it's more than just cars. We do events as well. I said, you know what, Beth? I'm going to give that to you. So they come into the event space. And basically, he brings other dudes with him. And he basically says, oh, it's going to be 50-50. And she's like, that's not what we agreed to. He was like, oh, I must have forgot to tell you. And then, of course, he got his little friends with him. So she's scared. They scared. And so her dumb behind agrees to 50-50. I was just like, you're stupid from the get-go. I don't even know why you thought this plan was a good plan and why the other two went along with you in the first place. So then she calls the dude. She gives him 48 hours to get the money back. She calls him and he was like, oh, I'm not coming. I don't like that plan. I think it'd just be better if I keep 100%. And I was just like, this is what I'm talking about. You're stupid. You don't make good decisions. You don't think, Beth. And this is why Beth gets on my nerves. And this is why she really got on my nerves in season 2 when she felt like I can just do this stuff on my own. I don't need Rio fine behind. Like, I just don't understand why you just can't do right, Beth, or just come up with good ideas. So we see that she was like, okay, well, we finna go roll up on them. And then Andy was like, ma'am, you are not about that life. You are literally a housewife. You're a suburban mom. Fall back 50 feet. Get it together. And so then she comes up with a good plan. I have to say it was a good plan. She goes to the moving company, accuses the man of stealing $500 from her, then threatens to call a probation officer. And so then she's coming home. And then she sees somebody sitting on the porch. I said, Lord, it's real. I was like, whoo, I'm scared for Beth, but I'm happy because they finna bring his fine behind back on screen. I was like, you know, that's the only reason why I'm here watching this show in the first place. But then we see that it was the dude. She was shook. I was shook. I was disappointed because I wanted to see my baby daddy, but he ended up giving her the money, and so all is well. I don't know if she's going to keep working with him. She'll have to be dumb as rocks to basically keep working with this man, but at least they got their money back. But of course Beth has to be greedy, and she was like, what would Rio do? He would make more and more money. So they decide they're gonna keep making all this money, child. I don't know what the heck is happening. So we see that she basically decides that she's going to take back control of her house. She tells her family she got a new job. She's promoted to manager. There might be profit sharing. I was like, girl, you lying, but I mean, do what you gotta do, boo. You see, she gave her her mother-in-law that raggedy seat that she tried to give her earlier in the episode, and then she basically says, thank you for all of your help, but that's all that we would be needing. Everyone tell your grandma, tell Nana, thank you, bye-bye, get up out of my house, thank you. So we see that she calls, her friend Ray calls her like, hey girl, she's like, hey girl, I'm sorry to be such a pest. I'm just trying to tell you I had your coins for you. Let's meet up for a drink. And she was like, okay, cool, boo. And then she go for the drink, and then my baby daddy pop up like, she ain't coming. And I was just like, oh, he's so fine. But I was like, oh, Beth. And then Beth had that, she was shook, okay? She was shook. Just all the rouge that her mother-in-law said don't never be there. She was just pale, okay? Just pale, shook. You can see it all over her face. But I was here for every single moment of it. I like the setup of this episode. I would say this is more of a setup episode than anything crazy necessarily happened this episode. Like I said, I told you guys, I feel like Ray had something to do with this setup. I'm just saying, that's just me. I guess we'll have to wait for next episode to come up to see if Ray was really in on it, if Rio was just like, nah, like, let me tell you what really happened. So I'm interested to see if she's still going to be on the show, how is she going to interact with Beth? Is Beth even going to be alive in the first place? I don't know what the heck is about to happen, but I am here for all of this. I'm so excited. I just want to see my baby daddy more on screen. I'm pretty sure that Annie's gonna end up smashing a therapist, and I feel like she's gonna end up smashing Greg again. I'm just not sure if she's gonna do that or not, but I have a weird feeling about it, just a mild feeling. Can't wait to see Dean little trash behind Messa. So hopefully this will finally be the final straw of all the 15 million other reasons that he has given Beth to leave him. But I hope that this is it. I hope that because she got her money, she can kick him out. You go do you, boo. I don't need you no more. I just hope that they finally end up being done forever. Forever. But those are my quick thoughts on like Good Girls season 3, episode 2, Not Just Cards, okay? I was really excited about this episode. I think it has a great setup. I'm very excited to see what happens with Rio next week. She's scrumptious. But yeah, those are pretty much my thoughts on the episode. As always, my name is Sharona from Pay Your Weights. And if you like what you saw today, make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, share this video with your friends, and make sure you hit that notification bell. And I love you guys 3000. I'll see you soon.